Yes, it is official. Toyota have announced they are going to release or bring out a proper petrol hybrid in the 300 series Land Cruiser. They're saying in 2026. If it's going to be then or later, who knows? Often things run late. Now, people are already sending me this information. You can see I'm out on break. I'm travelling at the moment, but there's a number of people that have sent that information. And asking, so what do you think about this? So this is that video. What do I think about this? Well, I think the 300 series is a much better looking vehicle than the 250. I didn't like it at the start either, but it grew on me. I'm certainly okay with the 300 series, the look of the vehicle, inside the vehicle. There is certainly some issues with that diesel engine and the turbos and stuff like that. A lot of things you don't hear about. So look, most people are going to be lucky. It's a bit like the 1GD. Most people are going to be lucky. The 1GD might be worse. I'm not too sure. I'd have to be working in a Toyota dealership to know to quantify, percentages on real problems and, how likely it is to happen to you. I'm always out here and I need reliability, so I carefully consider vehicle options before I make changes, purchases or replacements. So this is what people are saying. They're saying finally something maybe I can replace my vehicle with, or keep the old vehicle for the rough stuff, the tracks, the pinstripes, and they've got a nicer vehicle for the highway driving, like right now, and for the towing and that sort of thing. So maybe it is an option. And I'm going to also include in this video a little bit about the Patrol, the Y62 and the Y63. So most people know I've also got the V8 Patrol sitting there. It's going to be going on a trip. Within 2 weeks I'll be on another trip with that vehicle and clock up probably 10,000 kilometres. So there'll be a fair review about the vehicle during or after that trip. And I think it's been around a long time, and contrary to the possible problems you can have, I still think it's a great option, one of the better options to purchase a new vehicle right now while you can still get one. And I think it's going to be better than the Y63 with all the technology and the twin turbos, and let's not even go there with the things that could go wrong with that one. I think the V8 is going to be a much more reliable option and a bit of old school reliable technology with most of the problems ironed out, and at least we can work out what they are, what the possibilities are, like we do on other vehicles. Moving on to this 300 series. Now the engine, somebody can put in the comments what engine it is. I'm sure people have seen the announcement. I'm sure people have, they're doing their research on it, trying to work out what's what and who's who in the zoo. Now I believe it would probably be the same engine that's been used for years, and I believe it's currently in the Lexus version of the 250 Prado, 3.5 litre twin turbo V6, very reliable. Remembering it has got turbos, so personally I probably would have went without turbos, naturally aspirated, and just make up with it with an even more sizable electric motor and battery setup. But not a bad option. So it's not it's not the ultimate. I mean, the Toyota petrol hybrid range, the proper petrol hybrids we have on the market now and in all recent years, in recent times, they are awesome vehicles, awesome reliability. You've got the torque of the electric motor. Out on the tracks it's going to be great. Water's not going to be an issue, so don't even go there. So turbos is the big question, because turbos can and will eventually be problematic, right? So turbos is the thing. Turbos are expensive. Turbos can let you down at any time. But that being said, these turbos on these engines I think are pretty good. Once again, anyone with any experience on that, when they fail, how often, any feedback, we welcome the comments on this video for people to have a look and maybe put what your qualification is, where you work, whether you've owned one, whether you know someone, whatever the case is. What's the engine called? I can't remember all these letters. I remember 1KD FTV, I remember 1GD FTV, I remember 1VD and etc. But all these petrol engines, with Fs, and 1GRFE, there you go, the V6. Too many letters, mate, in my alphabet. So put it up, the 3.5 litre V6 with the twin turbo, coupled with a proper hybrid, not this diesel strap-on garbage they've got on the 1GD and the 250. I wouldn't touch that. Plenty of people have, I'm sure. Some will be disappointed, some will be happy, each to their own. But in general, I think this is great news. This is really great news that they're putting a proper petrol hybrid into the 300 series, and I believe they'll do it in the Hilux. Not that engine, it'll be a smaller engine. I believe they'll do it in the Prado 250 eventually in Australia. If you people just stop buying the wrong vehicles, stop buying the diesels. They've got too much strap-on technology. The engines are way too small. They're undersized. They're heavy cars. They're not suitable. Each to your own, but my recommendation, just my opinion, my recommendation, my advice, whatever you want to do, don't buy any new diesels. People are asking me still, oh, what should I buy? I want a tow. Should I go to MUX? Blah, blah, blah. You know, I can talk about MUXs in another video perhaps, you know. Mechanically a pretty good option if you want a small 4-cylinder diesel for towing, you know. I mean a small engine as in 4-cylinder, it's a 3-litre diesel, you know. Not ideal, but it'll do the job, just like Prado, 3-litre diesel, 275cc. They do the job, you know what I mean? So, just depends what you want. But, now the last thing we really want is people queuing up to buy this petrol hybrid 300 series. The last thing we want is people pre-ordering, oh, I've got to get one of those, because two problems with that. One, the first of every vehicle like that, even though the engine might have been around, it's with the hybrid, there can be some teething issues. I would recommend you wait a year or two at least if you're planning on getting one to keep. I believe they'll be around for a while, because I personally believe this is the greatest solution in fuel economy, off-road torque, towing torque, fuel economy. Did I mention it? These petrol hybrids Toyota have got out, they're absolutely awesome. I don't know the details if it's going to have a 10-speed auto, 8-speed auto, or a CV transmission, and I don't really care. I think from the limited information I've got so far, I trust Toyota on this. If it's going to be one of their petrol hybrids, awesome. The only slight concern is those twin turbos, so might be worth sticking with a V8 Patrol, or at least for now. It's that old, tried, tested, you know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. And maybe in 2028 or 29, that's when you want to order your 300. The other problem with everyone jumping on going, oh, I've got to get one of these, right, is everyone ordering before they're actually available, before they're here, before the dealer's got any pricing. And you've already done it plenty, a lot of you people. Just stop doing it, because then what they do is look at this and they just put an exorbitant price tag on it, and the Prado ends up being the same price as a, you know, 200 series not that long ago. You know what I mean? Like, just stop doing it. You're pushing the prices up by demanding the vehicles before they're even here. So sit tight, gather some info, subscribe, turn the bell on, have a good listen to what I've got to say, have a think about it, look at your options, watch the videos that come out on the Patrol. We've got playlists there on the Patrol. I've still got my Prados, they're not going anywhere. If I get a 300 series, the Prados aren't going anywhere. They are my spare, most reliable cars. I can have any vehicle I like. The choice is whatever. And my choice is this vehicle. I'll tell you what, I was just thinking before I started this video how great this is. Sure-footed, stability, handling, you know, out on the highway, turning on the tracks, dirt roads, out on the sand, comfort, no fatigue. You just can't get vehicles like this anymore, and I can only hope that a 300 series will be anywhere near this, and that it would be better than the Patrol, because the Patrol's okay, you get used to it, but this vehicle you don't have to get used to. Unfortunately, the news is the 120, I love it even more. I'm just a simple guy, and I really like how these cars drive, handle, everything about them. So look, I'll be talking more about this, but that's a bit of preliminary information. We'll be back on deck at the Prado Hospital for 1 week only from the 23rd of June. So if you want any of your parts kits, injector kits, BFE kits, front wheel bearing assemblies, any of that stuff for your Prados and Hiluxes, 7:30 a.m. Monday the 23rd, text message. Get in as soon as you can. I'm going to be at capacity, flat out pack and send. If there's any emergency jobs, injector jobs, we'll try and get them in that week as well. And then we've got school holidays, so we're going to be, once again, probably getting some work done, but please do not contact me anytime other than Monday the 23rd, or if you forget, Tuesday the 24th, and then really just call it busy and closed again until the end of the Melbourne Victoria school holidays, and Bada Bing will be back on deck. I don't know what the date is. I'm going to guess it's probably about the 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, or after that, somewhere around there in July. We'll be back on deck for a while, and you know, it's a bit cold. I might then have to do a trip and head north and get warm, so might not be around for long. So if you're not ready in June for an end of financial year purchase, then the tax return purchase will be ready for you late July, and if you're not ready then, you're a bit late on your tax return. Late August into September will certainly be back on deck before the September school holidays. We're once again busy, workshop maintenance, parts restocking, closures, life first, business second. I'm here to help, but I do as I say as I do. Bada bing, baby. Catch you in the next video. See ya.